An SEC quarterback just ripped the Big Ten and said they're weak. It's time to put him in their place, along with the SEC. Call your SEC friends for this one. Lockdown Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Shemon, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer, and I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that free subscribe button while you're watching. That way you'll never miss a single episode. We also ask you to share, like, and follow. That'll help us out a lot, too. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So the Big Ten's getting bashed. We answer back, and it's not going to be pretty. Plus, we hit the recruiting trails and Big Ten Classics this weekend. Programming note for you right off the top, okay? Big Ten fans, you're going to want to share this podcast with every arrogant SEC fan or friend you've ever had a college football argument with in your life. So let's get started. This week, Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia, he said he got a lot of transfer portal interest in his services this offseason, but anytime a Big Ten team called, he wouldn't even pick up the phone. Didn't return any calls, nothing. Doesn't like the Big Ten. Doesn't think they're as good as the SEC. He said, quote, "You want to play with the best. You don't want to play with the Big Ten. You ignore those calls. You know that," unquote. He went on to say that, what a gauntlet the SEC schedule is. Meanwhile, you only have 4 tough games in the Big Ten, according to him. Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, Penn State. Hey, Diego, listen up. We really enjoyed your impressive blowout win over Alcorn State last year. That was nice. Or your 4-point squeaker win over Georgia State the following week. That's a tough stretch. Or how about your 10-point home win against Ball State? How about that impressive win in the Birmingham Bowl? Look, I know. You beat Alabama last year, but didn't everybody? Michigan beat them twice. Yeah, that's right. ReliaQuest and then the Rose Bowl 364 days before. Sent Nick Saban into retirement. You might have caught the headlines. Oh, in case you didn't know, Michigan was in the Big Ten. We can't wait for your season opener this year against Charleston Southern. Okay? That should be quite a test. Really looking forward to that one. Oh, and good luck against Georgia State in the rematch. What do you have, a home and home with those guys? I hope you have enough players that can have some stamina to make it to the next game against Utah State. Not Utah, Utah State. Anyway, Diego went on to say that in the Big Ten, you're not going to go get beat by Purdue or Nebraska. By the way, Vanderbilt lost to Purdue the last time they played them in 2019. And personally, I take Dylan Raiola going into his second year over you any day. And by the way, how many years have you been at this? This is like your 6th year of college football. What are you, like 24 years old? I should also point out that you've never beaten a Big Ten team. Before you came to Vanderbilt, you were at New Mexico State, and you lost to Minnesota and Wisconsin. In fact, the Badgers beat you 66-7. You're 52 yards passing that day. Didn't quite get the job done. And Minnesota and Wisconsin, they weren't even top-tier Big Ten teams. And you decided to besmirch Iowa while you were at it on your little rant recently, saying, you only need 7 points to beat them. That may be true, but good luck getting those 7 points. I'm beyond halfway through this already here on this opening rant. I haven't even mentioned or reminded you that the Big Ten is the 2-time defending national champion with Michigan and Ohio State, not the SEC. Big Ten national champions. I haven't even mentioned how the Big Ten mopped the floor with the SEC in the postseason last year. Let's see. Ohio State beat Texas by 2 touchdowns in a playoff game. That was after they destroyed Tennessee 42-17 in a playoff game because the Vols quarterback Unlike you, I guess he was answering Big Ten calls and from anybody trying to get a better name, image, and likeness deal at the time. I'm not done. An average USC football team beat Texas A&M in the Las Vegas Bowl. I already mentioned Michigan over Alabama. Yeah, Illinois. They punched South Carolina in the face in the Citrus Bowl. You know what? I got to give you credit. The SEC did beat one Big Ten team of the postseason last year. It was the Music City Bowl. Missouri needed 2 missed Iowa field goals to beat the Hawkeyes 27-24. Oh, I guess they did need to score more than 7 points to beat Iowa. All right. Point taken. I mean, the fact that you wouldn't even answer a call from a Big Ten team is perplexing to me, because last time I checked, the Buckeyes threw like $20 million all over their roster last year, and a 17-year-old quarterback at Michigan just banked $12.5 million. How much are you making at Vanderbilt? Probably not that much. Oh, I forgot. You guys are a baseball school. So let's circle back to this whole issue of tough schedules. When are you boys in the SEC gonna step up and add a 9th conference game? Match what the Big Ten is doing. Kind of be like us, the big boys over here. I know you think that your schedule's already too tough. The gauntlet of the SEC. Been hearing about it for years, yesteryear. But the selection committee didn't seem to think it was that tough last year, because you only got 3 teams in the college football playoffs while the Big Ten got 4. Why is that? All right. You guys like to leave those open weeks so you can schedule Mercer and the Citadel. Kind of cozy up to the win-loss, add an extra win on the total there, huh? I know you want to lighten the load a little bit because the SEC is too tough. You know who other SEC schools look for on the schedule when they want to lighten their load? Vanderbilt. That's who. Good luck this season, though, Diego. Good luck. I would love to hear from y'all in the comment section. I know I'm going to hear a lot. And again, I would like you, if you're a Big Ten fan, if you're an everydayer, if you're a regular, share this video. Even if you don't typically share videos, share this video with somebody you know that just thinks that the SEC's the best thing ever, because we get kind of tired of it. This will put them in their place. Say, hey, check this video out. Big Ten greater than SEC. It's mid-June. We need a good old-fashioned summer rivalry here. So go ahead and do that and have some fun. Would like to hear your comments on all that. And if you're new or not, I'd love you to hit that subscribe button down below. We are making a push to 20,000 subscribers before the start of football season. We took over this channel like exactly 2 years ago with 1,000 subscribers. Thanks to all you guys, we're getting close to 20,000. If you're not subscribed yet, it's free. Just hit the button, and it'll push us toward our goal to get 20,000 subscribers by the time football season starts. And that way you'll never miss an episode as well. And we always ask you to share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten as well. Don't forget, we have a website, talkbig10.com. All of our podcasts go there. Plus, there's a link there where you can buy your favorite Big Ten merchandise from your favorite Big Ten team, because the Big Ten is awesome. You want to have a little pride, especially when you're talking to your SEC friends out there. We're going to get you caught up with everything going on the recruiting trail. A lot of great stories there. That's a bad news for Michigan State basketball. You want to hang for that. Plus, we'll have our Big Ten Classics as we go into the weekend. All that is coming up right here as we continue on Locked On Big Ten. So you ever wonder where all your money goes? Yeah, sometimes it disappears pretty quickly. You can check your bank account and you go, whoa, where'd all that go? Monarch Money. Monarch Money is what you need here. It helps you keep track of everything all in one place. And it shows you your patterns. You spend too much money on online shopping, or you spend a lot of money on entertainment or dining out. It's like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, although it can do that. It's a complete financial command center where you can track all your accounts, your investments, all your spending all in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. Got a lot of surprising insights for you. It really keeps track. Oh, here's where I spend my money. It really helps you out there. All in one convenience instead of multiple apps from your credit card and your banks and all that kind of stuff. brings everything together, and you could use it to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals and easy collaboration. You have a spouse or significant other, all the finances can be put in one place with Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. Thanks for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen each and every day, especially you everydayers out there. Meanwhile, be sure to hit that free subscribe button down below, and we're asking you to really double down and share this episode here today. Follow and like Locked On Big Ten, your team every day, and check out our website, talkbig10.com, for our podcast and Big Ten merchandise. All right, twice in the past 2 weeks, we've talked about class of 2026 four-star defensive lineman Alistair Vallejo, and how he picked Michigan over Notre Dame. So why did he pick Michigan over Notre Dame? He's 6'3", 310 pounds, and he is drawing physical comparisons to recent top 5 NFL pick and Michigan alum Mason Graham. Pretty good company to be in, right? Maybe a little early to go ahead and compare him to Mason Graham, but some people are. In the end, he said that Ann Arbor felt like home. He loved the people in Michigan, which is, by the way, is a long way from home. He's from Liberty Hill, Texas. He's got one more year of high school ball down there before heading north. But in his last 2 seasons down there in Texas, the last 2 seasons of high school, he has 116 tackles, 21 tackles for loss, and 18 sacks. Wolverines are going to love having him. And we've also mentioned how they also added, almost about the same time, another valued defensive lineman in Mikael Blade, who also chose the Wolverines over Notre Dame. But Vallejo is looking for more help, and he says he intends to help the Wolverines recruit more players. In fact, as if that's not enough with those 2 guys coming in, 4-star defensive lineman Deuce Geralds. He's coming in for a visit this weekend at Michigan. He's a top 100 overall prospect. He's from Georgia, 6'2", 265 pounds. Last year, this isn't like combined, this is just last year, 114 tackles, 30 tackles for loss, 36 quarterback hurries, and 13 sacks, 2 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. Given a last-minute look to Michigan. Deuce Geralds. Remember that name. We'll keep an eye on it for you. By the way, Deuce has already taken official visits to some other Big Ten schools like Oregon and Ohio State. He's also checked out LSU and Ole Miss. So he still has the visit with Ohio State left. Sometimes, they don't always work this way, but sometimes the kids, that last visit, that's where a lot of them can get closed to kind of save the leader for last. Not all of them. Some of them do, though. Speaking of the Buckeyes, Jaquaden Guilford, he's the Buckeyes' top remaining receiver on the recruiting board. He's a 6'2" senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He recently joined other receivers from Ohio State at a camp this past week at the Woody Hayes Center. So he's kind of getting comfortable around there. Looks like he fits in. They're getting kind of excited about him. And he also says and acknowledges that Ohio State is wide receiver U. It's called that for a reason. So he seems pretty excited about the Buckeyes. He's going to announce his decision June 27th. That's coming right around the corner. He is also considering Michigan and Indiana and Ole Miss. Now, the Buckeyes, here's a reason he may not come. Maybe. The Buckeyes already have 4 wide receivers locked into the class of 2026. Yeah, right. They are wide receiver U. So we'll see if that affects his decision or not. It is something to keep an eye on. Jaquaden Guilford. That's the name. So, by the way, in the category of it pays to have connections, here's an interesting story. 3-star offensive lineman Ethan McIntosh from Verona, Wisconsin. He has an offer from the Badgers to stay in state. They're going after him. He's in state, but that's not the only reason. You may recognize the McIntosh name. You're onto something there. He's the son of Badgers athletic director Chris McIntosh. Of course, Chris McIntosh also played O-line back in the day for the Badgers, back when they won back-to-back Big Ten titles and Rose Bowl titles in 1998, 1999. So what do you think? You think he's going to come to Wisconsin, or does he want to make his own name somewhere else? The offer's legit. It's not just because his dad. He is a 3-star, and he does have offers from Iowa and Iowa State and Kansas and Northwestern and Washington State. 6'7", 240 pounds, by the way. So I'll be interested to see if he follows his old man there to Wisconsin, right? Count Illinois coach Brett Bielema, among those that thinks the SEC needs to match the Big Ten and add a 9th conference game, so we're comparing apples to apples instead of them playing 8 and we're playing 9 in the Big Ten. Wants to even things up and make them fair when it comes time to grab and choose teams to put in the expanded college football playoffs. So we all agree with him there. There's no question. Just talked about it a minute ago. He said a 16-team playoff, if that's what we expand to, he said a 16-team playoff field is worthless if everyone is going to talk about strength of schedule. You just can't compare them. So maybe the Vanderbilt quarterback would disagree. But he says he doesn't think we can expand to 16 if the SEC isn't going to expand to 9 conference games. He also heard Diego Pavia's comments that we talked about in the first segment here today, ripping the Big Ten, and in true Bielema fashion, said that kid doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's just regurgitating nonsense. I like that. It's a good Brett Bielema comment, if you will. All right, I do have some bad news for Michigan State and Tom Izzo. You may not have heard of this kid. They got to transfer forward from FAU. Caleb Glenn hasn't played a single minute of basketball for Michigan State yet. Just transferred in, just got in. He was going to be a pretty big part of this team this year, according to Tom Izzo. And he suffered a torn patellar tendon, and it required surgery. And his 2025-2026 season is over already before you even got a chance to know him. Again, he had only been with the team for a couple of weeks, and he was working out with his new teammates, getting to know everybody, seemed to be fitting in nicely, according to Tom Izzo, and then boom, the injury. And that's a long-term injury to repair coming off of a surgery. Izzo's heading into his 23rd season, and now he's going to have to scramble a little bit to fine-tune the roster, get himself another forward there in East Lansing. And I want to take a moment and talk about college baseball for a moment, a valiant effort by our Big Ten representative UCLA as they were playing in Tuesday night's elimination game while we were taping yesterday's podcast. They ended up losing that game to Arkansas 7-3, but it was a great season for the UCLA Bruin baseball team. And meanwhile, Arkansas, LSU, Coastal Carolina, and Louisville all down with the Final Four teams in Omaha. They're playing right now as we speak, so may get pared down even more before we're done here tonight. But good job. Nice season by UCLA and their baseball team. All right, if you are new to our podcast, at the end of every podcast, we always have a great feature that we have a lot of fun with. Mondays, we do our top 10 Big Ten observations from the weekend, whatever's going on. We kind of compile it into a list. Tuesdays, we do Tuesday tweets. Follow us on X or Twitter at Talk Big Ten. And you put something out there that we like, we'll put it on every Tuesday. We grab tweets or posts from Twitter for our final segment. Wednesdays, we like to power rank stuff. Yesterday, we power ranked Big Ten helmets, the ones that we thought were cool. I didn't get as many comments as I thought because I had Penn State last. Some people like Penn State first. Classic, white, old school helmet. I had them last. Didn't really get that much heat on the comment section. I was surprised. I think they need to be updated. That's all. And then also Thursdays we do Big Ten classics and or live action from the Big Ten Network. We'll highlight their weekend on the Big Ten Network, even though we're not affiliated with them. We do have the same interests, and I'll highlight some things I think you may be interested in if you need a break from your weekend activities, sit cool off in the air condition, watch a little football classic from yesteryear. I'll tell you what's interesting on that grid and what's on the board. And then Fridays, we do like picks and odds and pigskin picks and all that kind of stuff. But we'll come right back in 1 minute. We'll take a look at the Big Ten Classics on the Big Ten Network next here on Locked On Big Ten. Time to take a look at our Big Ten classics for this weekend on the Big Ten Network. I will put this on the board, and if you're audio only, no sweat. We'll go ahead and describe in detail what's on here. We'll pick it up with Friday's action, and these are all Eastern times, and we'll fast forward to Friday night. Friday night, June 20th. By the way, summer starts Friday night. 8:30 Eastern. We got a one of those Big Ten football in 60s where they edit it from snap to snap. Makes it pretty quick. You can watch a game in an hour. This is from November. Rutgers at Michigan State. Kyle Monangai. He rushed for 129 yards and a touchdown, while Antoine Raymond ran in two more scores to help the Scarlet Knights defeat the Spartans 41-14. Wow. So that is what's going on to start us off. We'll look at 9:30, another Big Ten football at 60, edited out. Minnesota at Rutgers. It's a lot of Rutgers on Friday. The Big Ten Network is really focusing on Rutgers. Ethan Kaliakmanis passing for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead the Scarlet Knights to a 26-19 victory over the Golden Gophers. You want to watch? That's one of those revenge games. Kaliakmanis used to play for Minnesota. And then more than a year ago, transferred to Rutgers. I think he and PJ Fleck had a little kerfuffle on the sideline or after the Purdue game in his last year at Minnesota. And he said, I'm out of here. Plus, he was really familiar with the offensive coordinator at Rutgers. If I'm not mistaken, he used to be at Minnesota also, I think. I'm going by memory there. But anyway, he was he moved to Rutgers and had a really good year there. So 10:30 Eastern time. Another Big Ten football 60 in 60. Washington at Rutgers. This is from early in the season in September. And this was a weird game. If I remember, like missed kicks and all that kind of stuff from Washington. Kyle Monangai rushing for 132 yards and a touchdown to lift the Scarlet Knights to a 21-18 victory over the Huskies. If I remember, I believe that was a Friday night under the lights, nationally televised game. I think I remember watching that one. And then at 11:30, we got a Big Ten basketball in 60. Seton Hall at Rutgers from December, pre-conference game. Dylan Harper had a game-winning shot as time expired to lift the Scarlet Knights to a 66-63 victory over the Pirates in the Garden State Hardwood Classic. Yeah, last second. All right, let's move on to some Saturday action. The first full day of summer, Saturday, June 21st, all the daylight, man, right? This is the longest daylight day of the year. You're going to want to be outside, but if you want to come inside for break, again, here's what's going to be on the TV. We'll pick it up at 10:30 in the morning. We got a Big Ten football in 60, Penn State at Wisconsin from October. And that's when Katron Allen rushed for 86 yards and a touchdown to help the third-ranked Nittany Lions beat the Badgers 28-13. That I'm also going by memory on this stuff. That was wasn't that Big Ten Saturday night on NBC? And wasn't Wisconsin like leading at that? It was a close game at the half, right? If I remember, boy, I gotta dust off the memory, but that's how I remember. Then let's jump forward to 6 p.m. Eastern. I know you guys will let me know for sure in the comment section. Penn State basketball classic, Purdue at Penn State. This is from December, and Ace Baldwin Jr. had 17 points and 6 assists to help the Nittany Lions upset the 8th-ranked Boilermakers 81-70. Upset early in the season. And then at 11 o'clock on Saturday, we got a Penn State football classic, a true classic, not one of those 60-minute edit jobs, just a full class. Illinois at Penn State from September last year. Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton rushed for a combined 196 yards and 2 touchdowns to help the 9th-ranked Nittany Lions defeat the 19th-ranked Fighting Illini 21-7. Again, going by memory, I think, and this was a night game, Illinois, I think, marched down on its opening drive to take a 7-0 lead, and then it was all Penn State, the rest of that one. That one, I'm pretty sure my memory's right. I got that one. All right, now, Sunday. Let's fast forward over here. Change the screen. We got a lot of stuff on Sunday. June 22nd. Here we go. We'll pick it up at 9 a.m. I'm going to find it here. 9 a.m. Michigan State, football classic for Michigan State. It's Michigan at Michigan State from 2021. Kenneth Walker III rushing for 197 yards and 5 touchdowns to lead the 8th-ranked Spartans to a 37-33 victory over the 6th-ranked Wolverines. That was a big game, big day, lots of offense. At 2:30, we got a Big Ten football and 60 show. Purdue at Michigan State from November. Aiden Childs throwing for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns to help the Spartans to a 24-17 win over the Boilermakers in that one. And then we followed up with another Big Ten football in 60 at 3:30, Iowa at Michigan State from October. Jonathan Kim setting a school record with 6 field goals to help the Spartans to a 32-20 win over the Hawkeyes. Then at 4:30, another Big Ten football in 60, Michigan State at Maryland. And that is from September. And let's see what else we got here. At 5:30, we picked up with a Michigan State hockey classic. Had to throw this in there, help cool you off on the first weekend of summer. Isaac Howard with 4 points, including the game-winning goal to lift the top-ranked Spartans to a 4-3 victory over the 9th-ranked Buckeyes to win the Big Ten title, the 2025 Big Ten Championship. Ohio State at Michigan State. That was from March 22nd. And then we close out the day and the weekend and our Big Ten classics with a big Michigan State basketball classic, Michigan State at Illinois from February, where that was the game where Tom Izzo broke the record to become the winningest coach in Big Ten history, surpassing Bob Knight with the 11th-ranked Spartans' 79-65 victory over the Fighting Illini. So there you have it. Big Ten classics from over a lot of stuff to choose from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can check that out on the Big Ten Network if you need a little break from being outside. So what do you think? I think it's a pretty good list of stuff to look at. In the meantime, remember, as I said at the beginning, share this video, particularly if you have an SEC friend that always says, oh, the SEC is great. The SEC, it means more. We're better. No, they're not. Send this video to them. Would really appreciate that. There are many ways for you to interact with this podcast at Twitter or X at Talk Big Ten, number 10. There's our website, talkbig10number10.com. All of our podcasts go there. Plus, you can get school merchandise from your favorite Big Ten team as well. Hit that subscribe button down below. I know I'm asking you to do a lot. Websites and subscribe and share. Hit that subscribe button. It's free as we push closer to 20,000 subscribers. While you're at it, go back and check out a past podcast of Locked On Big Ten this week. Also, for a second listen, maybe check out our friend Brian Smith and the Portal Show. That's always out there. And there can be last-second changes. There are still a lot of Portal kids that transferred out, still looking for a home here this summer. You can catch up on all that, the Portal Show on YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. That will do it for us. Time flew like that. I always enjoy our visits. I never take them for granted. And I already can't wait till we meet again tomorrow. So check us out. Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Shemon. We'll talk to you next time.